Hi, and welcome back to Northern Maple, Canada Unbroken, where we discover the unfiltered truths of Canada's past, present, and future from coast to coast, breaking their silence. I have to apologize for taking 2 weeks off this show. I traveled with my niece 2 weeks ago for her dance competition, and it turns out I don't have what it takes to be a dance ant. Dance competition 1, dance ant 0. I was exhausted, by the way. So to all the dance moms, dads, support crew out there, hats off to you and your resilience, because the competition won the battle with me. But in all seriousness, I do want to take this episode to finally introduce the show properly. As you have probably already guessed, I am not a journalist or a reporter or even some political scholar with a stack of degrees behind me. I am just an ordinary Canadian who is curious, looking at our nation and asking myself, what is happening to my country? It's no secret many Canadians are feeling off balance, frustrated, and worn out. We're unsure who to trust or where to turn for answers. We're upset that the cost of living keeps climbing, making it harder to build a future, and it only seems to be getting worse with each passing year. And we're weary of politicians with their circular answers that never truly answer our questions. It feels more like a daily drama than responsible leaders charting Canada's course. When our media gets funded from a political party, how can we feel confident in what they tell us? How do we sort out what is just political spin from what is actually true? Take a headline we have all seen. Canadians have never had it better. But then there's you and me, the average Canadian, working hard and still struggling to move forward. Half of us are just $200 away from missing bill and debt payments each month. Think about that. We are in a country brimming with resources and possibilities, yet even those with full-time jobs earning what used to be decent wages are struggling to make ends meet. How does that add up? I would love to know the answer to that one. We often see a headline, take it as truth, and let our emotions take over. When was the last time we, the everyday Canadian, really dug into the facts? I can't seem to understand why we will demand proof from independent journalists, such as Rebel News, but accept what our government says without a second thought. Do politicians, prime ministers included, gain this magical ability that allows them to tell the truth when they step into Parliament? I mean, come on, it's no secret they don't. Carney, in the past few months alone, has broken numerous promises to us, the people he is supposed to be serving right now, our prime minister. As a country, we've let our political curiosity fade. When did we last think critically about what's happening in Ottawa? We're taught to skim the surface, trusting the government has our backs. But are we even encouraged to watch the debates, read the bills that are written for us, or even know who our senators are? The truth is, Canadians have been conditioned to be politically illiterate. It seems that most Canadians, including me once upon a time not too long ago, don't fully grasp how our system works or feel moved to learn about it. I'm no expert in history or politics, but I can read, and that's enough to make me qualified to dig into the facts of our country. I read a quote years ago that stuck with me. When you face a problem, you can either live with it or change it. Well, I can't sit by knowing Canadians are being misled and taken advantage of by those in power. So that leaves me with one choice, to act, to make a difference. And it took me a while to figure out how I, Elle Fynn, just an ordinary Canadian, could make a difference for the better. How could I lift up my fellow Canadians and our country? The answer came to me after listening to Joshua Luke Smith's poem, Uncle Terry's Legacy, performed at the art conference this past February. Here's a quick clip of it.
Martin Luther was asked, if you knew tomorrow the world would end and today would be your last, how would you spend it? And he said, I would plant an apple tree. The Greeks believed a society only thrives when people plant trees they know they'll never live to see. So how fickle we have been. Tossed by every changing wind, giving in before we have become a witness. Yes, there is the life we live, but there is the unlived life within us, and between the two stands the resistance.
Now, I'll share the link to the full poem in the descriptions, and I strongly encourage you to listen to it. His words about sunflowers on a casket, butterflies carrying a man's hope beyond his life, hit me hard. They made me see how fragile yet precious our time is, how a single voice can plant a seed for the benefit of future generations. That's when it clicked. I needed to sow a seed of hope in Canada, to help us rise together and help future generations of our nation, even if we might not see the benefits of our efforts. This is the heart of Northern Maple, a place where we can uncover the truth together, not just to point fingers, but to understand where our country stands and where it could go. It's about shaking off the confusion and division we've been handed, learning how our country really works, asking the tough questions, and finding our footing as a united people. I started this because I couldn't ignore the struggles we face. The rising costs, the mixed messages, the sense that we're not in control, and the taxation slavery that we are all facing. Northern Maple is my way of planting a seed of hope, of sparking a quiet pride in who we are and what we could become. It's not about me having all the answers. It's about us, everyday Canadians, growing stronger and freer together. My sole job is to bear witness and to share the facts as I find them. It is up to you to render judgment on the evidence you see and to make up your own opinions based on your own values. I will not lie or twist the truth to manipulate you like the media has done for years. If ever I share something that's incorrect, I will gladly retract it. Just tell me. I am not here to create the truth. I am here to find it and share it with you. This is Northern Maple, Canada Unbroken. And in today's episode, we're examining Canada's sovereignty. Politicians claim they'll protect it, but is Canada truly sovereign? In order to answer that question, we first need to agree on a definition of the word. Sovereignty, at its core, means supreme authority within a territory, full control over internal affairs, and independence from external powers. I'm not asking if Canada has components of sovereignty. I am asking, is Canada a true sovereign nation? If Canada's laws, policies, or identity are shaped by outside forces, can it really be sovereign? If we are sovereign, we are free. If we are not sovereign, who are we serving? Canada's story isn't one of a united people rising up to claim their own destiny. It's messier than that, and it's why I wonder if we've ever truly been sovereign. Picture this. Two nations, English and French, locked in a tug-of-war over this land long before it was ever called Canada. The French settled Quebec, built a life around their language and faith. The English pushed in, claiming territory, trading furs, and planting their flag. By 1763, after the 7 Years' War, Britain won out. The Treaty of Paris handed most of New France to them. But that didn't erase the divide. Two peoples, two cultures, two visions, stitched together under a foreign crown. Does that sound like the birth of a sovereign nation to you? To me, it feels more like a marriage of convenience arranged by someone else. Fast forward to 1867, the British North America Act. This is what we're told was the birth when Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick became a dominion. But let's be clear, a dominion isn't a free country. It's a self-governing piece of the British Empire, still bowing to London. The act wasn't written by Canadians declaring independence. It was passed by the British Parliament, signed by Queen Victoria. Our first step as a nation wasn't a bold leap. It was a polite nod from one colonial power to its master. English Canada dominated, sure. French Canada stayed intact, though. Quebec's never fully bought into this setup. That old rivalry didn't vanish, it simmered. A sovereign nation stands as one, not as two voices under someone else's roof. And here's the kicker. It's still not ours. The Constitution Act of '82 was supposed to be our big moment, finally patriating our founding document from Britain. Except it came with a catch. We had to ask Britain to pass the Canada Act first. Our independence needed their permission. Even then, the British monarchy didn't let go. King Charles III is still our head of state. He sits in Buckingham Palace, not Ottawa. The Governor General, appointed to represent him, signs our laws and opens our parliament. I'm not saying he's meddling daily, but think about it. The highest symbol of our nation is a foreign king tied to a crown 3,000 miles away. Sovereign nations don't borrow their authority, they own it. It's safe to say that Canada is not a sovereign nation because of who our head of state is. However, beyond the UK, China's influence challenges our autonomy. Chinese state-owned firms like CNOOC and PetroChina have invested over $30 billion in Alberta's oil sands, controlling key projects. Chinese investors also hold urban properties, Arctic mines, and tech assets. Reports, like a 2025 investigation by the Bureau, allege Chinese election meddling and political influence, with unauthorized police stations operating in Canada. When foreign governments sway our resources and politics, are we truly sovereign? There's also global organizations like the UN and the WWF who also raise concerns. The UN Sustainable Development Goals and Agenda 2030 shape Canada's climate, immigration, and human rights policies. Our $1.5 billion annual contributions ties us to global mandates like the Global Compact for Migration, sparking debates over border control. As for the WWF, its Great Reset agenda pushes stakeholder capitalism and climate policies. Klaus Schwab claimed in 2017 that WEF's Young Global Leaders program had penetrated Canada's cabinet, including figures like Chrystia Freeland. Critics, including Kalpadiev, argue this undermines national interest for globalist agendas. Canada isn't fully sovereign. We're a dominion of the UK with policies influenced by global organizations and foreign powers. This raises our next question. If Canada is steering toward globalism, what is it and how will it affect us? Well, stay tuned for the next episode to find out. See you all next time. Bye.